Well, small businesses around Australia are still feeling the pressure and the panic. The JobKeeper subsidy deadline is looming, and COVID-19, as we know, is far from over. Small Business Australia's Bill Lane joins me live now. Hi, Bill.
Morning, Alana. G'day.
Thanks for joining us. Look, we know a third of small businesses are on life support right now. JobKeeper, week by week, we're getting closer to that deadline. Should it be extended at the end of March?
Look, I think we need a new form of JobKeeper, which we would call Small Business Saver. So the broad-based approach, I think, is at its use by date. There are particular industries, particular geographic areas that are hurting much, much more. They need more help, more direct help directly to those sorts of businesses. I'll give you a couple of examples. On the border area, Moama and Echuca, so New South Wales and Victoria, it's probably the hardest hit local community anywhere in Australia. Almost 40 weeks of various restrictions, border closures, uncertainty has impacted that border town community. Then we've got the independent travel agent industry. Quite unlikely that there'll be international travel out of Australia, potentially for the next 9 to 12 months. These people have worked basically all of 2020, taking the profits they earned in 2019 to be able to refund people, keep their businesses operating without generating any new revenue. So that's just two examples, Alana, where much more strategic and targeted solutions are needed from both federal and state governments.
Look, we did have some, I guess, good signs in the last quarter of 2020. The Australian consumer confidence, it did rebound to a certain extent. While we're sort of waiting to see how this plays out in terms of these subsidies, where are the big opportunities for everyday small businesses at the moment?
Look, we've seen some of the big companies, and therefore there are also lots of little companies in certain categories in terms of what are people doing. They're spending more time at home. So things like furniture-related services. We've seen Harvey Norman really perform well. Home electronics, any type of home-related service. So renovations, a lot of people are getting things done around their house. So one of the critical things for all small businesses, in fact, is now they need to really be online. They need to have a good, simple and functioning website. They need to be able to respond very quickly to any inquiries that are coming in. But anything that can be delivered in the home, the demand is up. And then secondly, just making sure that you are online, easily findable via a mobile phone, very responsive. So you may have something you can deliver to the home base. But be online. Get yourself organised on that front, and then anything to do with making the nest a more comfortable place to live and to work from, demand's growing.
Well, I think, for so many Australians that lost their jobs or that had a really tough year on the financial front last year, there's still $100 billion in extra savings that some Australians had from last year. How can we actually get Aussies spending this to help small business?
Look, I think the big C word is confidence, and by confidence that we see consistency from the various state governments and the federal government around how we go forward, how we manage outbreaks, and I think a nationwide, state-of-the-art contract tracing mechanism. So rather than these hard lockdowns and permits being needed to get into Victoria and across the border, let's link up all the contract tracing systems. Let's use a state-of-the-art approach. New South Wales has proven time and time again their ability to keep most businesses open for most of the time, letting people get about their lives and live and get on with business with the virus. We need that to really go state across the country, nationwide, so that we have the confidence that not around the corner is going to be another big massive lockdown because of some virulent strain or blah, blah, blah. Like, people know what they need to do personally to not get the virus and not spread the virus. We now need a more consistent, sensible approach from all of the governments.
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. I think everyone would agree with you there. Thanks for bringing us the latest insight from Small Business Australia. See you next week.
Thanks, Alana.